Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Continuing with the stories of the prophets, also known as the stories of the Quran. Last week, we talked about Sayyidina Salih alayhi salatu wassalam. And now today, inshallah, we'll start with another prophet, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam is known as Abul Anbiya, the father of all the Anbiya. The reason for this is because all the prophets that came from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam till Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam were all from the children of Ibrahim, from the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he is the Abul Anbiya, and we know the Bani Israel, the prophets that came in there, Musa alayhi salam, Dawood alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, Shu'aib alayhi salam, all of these Anbiya were from the children of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So he is known as the father of all the Anbiya. He is one of the greatest prophets. In fact, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he made a dua that, Ya Allah, keep my good mention in the times later on till the day of Qiyamah. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. That keep my name, keep my mention in the future generations. And this is why even out of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, only Ibrahim alayhi salam is that prophet that in our daily 5 prayers, our nafil prayers, we have to take his name to. In our salah, in many different places, Ibrahim alayhi salam is mentioned. His good mention is continuing. This was the effect of his dua. And one of the greatest titles given to any prophet, for example, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he was given the title of Kalimullah, the one who spoke to Allah. And different prophets were given different titles. One of the greatest titles any prophet was given was Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was given the title of Khalilullah, the close friend of Allah. Not just Siddiq, not just a friend. Khalil is a very close friend. And as we remember that hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions that if I was to choose a Khalil, a close friend, it would be Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. But my Khalil is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was also Khalil. But the title that is famous with from all the Anbiya was Ibrahim alayhi salam. He is known as Khalilullah. And there are so many virtues about Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. For example, we know in the history, the Kaaba in Makkah Mukarramah, a very special place. And this Kaaba, as Quran mentions and history mentions, it was built by many people. From the time of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, this Kaaba was there. And every time it got destroyed, it got weak, another person later on would build it. After the flood of Nuh alayhi salam, it was rebuilt again. So there were many different people that had built the Kaaba. And in fact, the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we learn in the seerah that when he was young, even at that time, the kuffar of Makkah, the Quraysh, they rebuilt the Kaaba. They broke that Kaaba down and they rebuilt it. So Kaaba was built many times. But out of all the constructions of Kaaba, only one construction is mentioned in the Quran, and that is the construction of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved his construction, loved his building of the Kaaba. In the time of Mi'raj, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he went for a miraculous journey from Mecca to Baytul Maqdis, and then from there to the first heaven, second heaven, all the 7 heavens, and he met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that special journey, Rasulullah ﷺ mentions that he passed by a place known as Baytul Ma'mur, which is in the seventh heaven. There's a place called Baytul Ma'mur, which is the Kaaba of the angels. And it is built exactly above the Kaaba in Makkah Mukarramah. So there's one Kaaba on this land for us, and there's another Kaaba known as Baytul Ma'mur in the heavens for the Malaika, for the angels. Rasulullah ﷺ, when he passed by this Baytul Ma'mur, he says that I saw a beautiful man sitting by this Baytul Ma'mur, this Kaaba in the heavens. So I asked Jibreel alayhi salam, who is this beautiful person sitting here? And he's sitting by this Baytul Ma'mur. Who is this? Jibreel alayhi salam said, this is your father, Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, there's so much mention about him, and in just that, and because in this dunya he built the Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in the akhirah, gave him Bayt al-Ma'mur. And he's there, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam visited the heaven, he met Ibrahim alayhi salam at the Bayt al-Ma'mur. When we go for Hajj, what is this whole Hajj that we perform? When we go to Mina, we go to Muzdalifah, this is all, we're following the footsteps of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. He went to Mina. What was the purpose that he went to Mina? To slaughter his son Ismail alayhi salam. He took him from Mecca and he took him outside of the boundaries of Haram and to Mina. When he got to Mina, that is where he laid him down. And in the remembrance of the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we go to Mina and we do our sacrifice in Mina also. We go to Muzdalifah, we go to Arafat. This is all in the remembrance of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. This is the effect of his dua, وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ, that keep my mention in the times to come later on, in the next generations. And we remember Ibrahim alayhi salam throughout our ibadah, throughout our life. When Sahaba Ridwanullahi Ajma'in asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, why do we do this qurbani? On the day of Eid, Eid al-Adha, thousands, millions of sheep and cows and camels are slaughtered throughout the world. Sahaba asked, Ya Rasulullah, why do we do this qurbani, this slaughtering? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Hadi sunnatu abikum Ibrahim. This is the footstep, this is the sunnah of your father Ibrahim alayhi salam. Another amazing thing we find in the history, that this hijrah, this great ibadah of hijrah, migrating from one place to another for the sake of Allah, for the ibadah of Allah, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba had done from Mecca to Medina. And previous Anbiya had done it also. The first prophet that we find that had ever done this ibadah of hijrah was Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And we will talk about his hijrah when he had to leave his hometown, Iraq, and move to another place. And one of the most mentioned prophets in the Quran is also Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Over 70 places Ibrahim alayhi salam is mentioned in the Quran al-Kareem. Another amazing thing about Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he is probably the only prophet that different religions believe in him and respect him. Whether it be the Jews, whether it be the Christians, whether it be even, the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the idol worshippers of Mecca, the mushrikeen of Mecca, they would claim that we are following Ibrahim alayhi salam. Though they had so many shirk, so many wrong in their life, but they will still, they would go for Hajj, they would do the tawaf around the Kaaba, and there were certain things they had held on to, and they would say we're following Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was a prophet that was well respected, and he was all the different religions and different sects, everyone respected and believed in him. Anyways, let's talk about who Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he was from the children of Sam. You know how Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam had 3 children, and all the human beings, humankind, continued from the 3 sons of Nuh alayhi salam. And one of the sons, Sam, he was from his progeny, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was born. And And we can also learn one more thing. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he was also from the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salam, so Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's nasab, his lineage also goes to Sam. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, where was he born? There are two opinions. The preferred opinion, the most acceptable opinion, is that he was born in Iraq. And this is where he spent his early childhood. What was the name of his father? There's two opinions. The most famous opinion is that his father's name was Azar. Azar with an alif. Some people also say that his name was Tariq, with a kaf at the end, Tariq. They're both opinions, and some scholars combined both, and they said one is probably his name, the other was probably his nickname. But Azar and Tariq are same person. Tariq was probably his name, his real name, and his nickname was Azar. And the reason why he was called Azar was because in Iraq there was one of the great idols, the biggest idols there was known as the idol's name was Azar. And because Ibrahim alayhi salam's father Azar used to worship this specific idol Azar, and he used to spend majority of his time with Azar idol, this is why people used to call him Azar. So Azar wasn't really his name, it was the name of the idol that he used to spend time with, and he used to worship, and he used to service and khidmat. Some scholars also say that Azar was not his father, but rather was his uncle. Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran clearly mentions many places, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his father Azar. So some people believe that Azar was not his father, was rather his uncle, but this is not a correct opinion. And the reason why they say that Azar cannot be his father, the proof for that, they say that Azar was an idol worshipper. How can a great prophet of Allah, Ibrahim alayhi salam, be born to an idol worshipper, born in a mushrik family? So because of this reason, they say that Azar could not be his father. But of course, this is not enough proof to say that Azar was not his father, whereas clearly in the Quran, it is mentioned that Ibrahim alayhi salam's father's name was Azar. This place in Iraq where Ibrahim alayhi salam was born and he lived was the city of Babel. And the city of Babel was filled with idol worshippers. And this was the whole city, this whole town was filled with idols and idol worshippers with shirk. And they used to not just worship the idols, they used to, different things are mentioned in the Quran about what they used to do with the idols. For example, one thing is mentioned, as we will learn, that you know how sometimes we take some water or something and we take it to a scholar or a saint, waliullah, can you blow on it for shifa? They used to take their food and their water and their drinks to these idols so they can put some barakah and the blessings, and they would drink it, they would feed it to the families. So they would do different things with their idols. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions an incident about Ibrahim alayhi salam when he would give da'wah to his father and his nation, to the mushrikeen of his town. One incident, there's many incidents. We'll talk about one incident today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and this is in 17th juz, in Surah Al-Anbiya. إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ وَقَوْمِهِ مَا هَذِهِ التَّمَاثِيلُ الَّتِي أَنْتُمْ لَهَا عَاكِفُونَ. That Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his father and his qawm, his nation, he said to all of them, مَا هَذِهِ التَّمَاثِيلُ الَّتِي أَنْتُمْ لَهَا عَاكِفُونَ. What are these statues that you are worshipping? He's asking a simple question. What are these idols? What are these statues that you are worshipping? Those people replied, قَالُوا وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا لَهَا عَابِدِينَ. They responded that we found our forefathers worshipping them. So we're continuing what we saw our forefathers doing. Ibrahim alayhi salam then said, لَقَدْ كُنْتُمْ أَنْتُمْ وَآبَاؤُكُمْ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Indeed, you and your forefathers were all in clear astray. You were all in clear wrong path. Very clearly. This is the method of Anbiya alayhi salam. They were not scared. They were not hiding. They were clearly, this is wrong. You tell them this is wrong. The people then responded, قَالُوا أَجِئْتَنَا بِالْحَقِّ أَمْ أَنْتَ مِنَ اللاعبين. They said, have you come to us with some truth? Or is this a joke that you are doing? Because they could not believe, how can someone not worship this idol? This is the only method of worship in the whole town. Everyone is doing this. Where did this person just come from? So they said, is there some truth that you have come with? Or are you just joking? Ibrahim alayhi salam said, this is whole incident in detail is mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya in 17th Juz. قَالَ بَلْ رَبُّكُمْ رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ الَّذِي فَطَرَهُنْ وَأَنَا عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, in fact, your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who created all of them. And I also bear witness to this. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam then said, وَتَاللَّهِ لَأَكِيدَنَّ أَصْنَامَكُمْ بَعْدَ أَن تُوَلُّوا مُدْبِرِينَ. He just said this. He had a conversation and these people were not listening, were not agreeing. They were firm on idol worshipping. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, what did he say? وَتَاللَّهِ لَأَكِيدَنَّ أَصْنَامَكُمْ. By Allah, I swear by Allah, I will plot against your idols after you have turned away and you have gone away. I will do something. You don't understand this way? I will do some other way and I'll make sure you understand it that way. So, وَاللَّهِ لَأَكِيدَنَّ أَصْنَامَكُمْ. I swear by Allah, I will make some plans, I will plot against your idols after you have gone away. The scholars mention, the historians mention, that the people of Babel, this town, they had one day in a year where they all used to gather and get together, barbecue and whatever else they would celebrate, and they would go out of town to some place, to some park or somewhere, and the whole town would get together and they would celebrate and they would enjoy, have fun. Not a single person would be left behind. Everyone would go. So these people, when that time came, these people, they went to Ibrahim alayhi salam also and they said that, you have to join us too. Okay, you have difference of opinion, you don't believe in our idols, but this is a day when everyone has to come, so we want you to come with us. Ibrahim alayhi salam, of course, did not want to go in this celebration of theirs, their Eid of theirs, so he did not know what to say. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, فَنَظَرَ نَظْرَةً فِي النُّجُومِ. He looked towards the sky and to the stars, and then he said, فَقَالَ إِنِّي سَقِيمٌ. He said, I'm feeling sick. This is an excuse that many people, if they don't want to do something, even is continuing till today, right? إِنِّي سَقِيمٌ. That, I can't come, I'm sick. In one hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in fact mentions that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam never ever lied in his life except 3 times. And one of those is this place. He said, فَقَالَ إِنِّي سَقِيمٌ. He said, I'm sick. But the Mufassirin, Muhaddithin, the scholars, they mentioned that this was not really a lie when he said, إِنِّي سَقِيمٌ, I'm feeling sick, because he used the word saqim, sick, that they would think that he's physically sick, not in good health, but he was referring to sick in the heart. And of course, everyone feels that, my heart is not perfect and is dirty. So in that sense, we have some sickness. So he meant saqim in that sense. So anyway, it was not really a lie. In the lengthy hadith about the day of Qiyamah, when the people, all the mankind will run to different prophets to start the judgment, and they would request the Anbiya to go to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start the judgment. When they will come to Ibrahim alayhi salam and they will say, "Oh Ibrahim, can you go and speak to Allah if He can start the judgment?" Ibrahim alayhi salam will say that, in the dunya I had lied 3 times, so I'm scared to confront Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyways, this is one of those places when Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, not a lie, and we can call it a lie, but it wasn't really a lie. Because he meant something different. It was as if he lied. The people thought it was in that sense, but it wasn't truly a lie. Anyways, now these people had given up that Ibrahim alayhi salam is not joining them in this celebration, in this Eid or get together. So فَتَوَلَّوْا عَنْهُمْ مُدْبِرِينَ. This is continuing with the incident in Surah Al-Anbiya. فَتَوَلَّوْا عَنْهُمْ مُدْبِرِينَ. Then these people, they turned back and they went away. They went to their get-together. Now after the whole town is gone, they're away, the whole city is empty. Ibrahim alayhi salam is the only one person in this whole city. He takes this opportunity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَرَاغَ إِلَىٰ آلِهَتِهِمْ فَقَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam quickly, without wasting any time, فَرَاغَ. He quickly went to their idols, to their lords. Their masjid, or wherever they had their idols, all of them were placed in one area. He went to that place. Quickly he went there and he started to speak to these idols. فَقَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ. Are you not going to eat? Because you know how we just mentioned that they would bring food for barakah and they would place it there and in the company of the idols, and then they would use it for shifa and those things. So there was a lot of food there. So Ibrahim alayhi salam said, أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ. Are you not going to eat? And then he said, مَا لَكُمْ لَا تَنْطِقُونَ. What's wrong with all of you? How come you don't speak to me? So he is taking his anger out on these idols. And he's talking to these idols. And then, of course, he was just, he did not mean to talk. Of course, he knows that these idols don't talk, but he is just taking out his anger. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, finally, فَرَاغَ عَلَيْهِمْ ضَرَبًا بِالْيَمِينِ. Then he quickly started to hit them. He brought an axe with him. Kulardi. He brought an axe. And he started quickly hitting these idols. Bil-yamin, with his right hand. Right hand meaning that with full force, with full power, he started breaking and hitting these idols. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, فَجَعَلَهُمْ جُذَاذًا إِلَّا كَبِيرًا لَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ يَرْجِعُونَ. Then he smashed all of those idols. He made them into pieces, except for the biggest idol. Why did he leave this big idol alone and not break that? لَعَلَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ يَرْجِعُونَ. So that when they return, they can go back to this idol and confront him that, you are here, you're watching. So he left this one idol so that they can come back to this one. In the books of history, it's also mentioned that Ibrahim alayhi salam, after he was done breaking, he took that axe and he put it on this big idol too. So it's as if it seems like this big idol is the one that did all this damage. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam, of course, went back. Later on, when this nation, the town, the people of the town, they came back, they returned at evening, whenever they returned. First thing they came back to was their place of worship. To do salam to these idols. They came back to these idols. When they saw what happened inside, they were all shocked and they were all, they were just puzzled of what just happened. And then they started to call all the people, everyone come see what happened here. And all the people gathered and they're looking at their idols and they're just worried, they're crying. And what happened to our lords, our idols, what happened? Someone did something. And then they started asking each other, قالوا من فعل هذا بآلهتنا إنه لمن الظالمين. They said, who did this to our gods? Indeed, he is a zalim, he is a wrongdoer. And then some of them said, قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. Some of them said that we heard a young man by the name of Ibrahim saying some bad things about the idols. Now they're remembering that before the conversation they had with Ibrahim alayhi salam, he used to say bad things about the idols, so it's possibly that he's done it. And he's the only one that was in town. So, of course, now everyone's eyes are on Ibrahim alayhi salam. So they said, go and find him, go and call him. Everyone is out looking for him, and finally they bring Ibrahim alayhi salam. قالوا فأتوا به على أعين الناس لعلهم يشهدون. They said, bring him before the eyes of all the people, so that everyone can see. And now, just imagine for a moment, the whole town, the city officials, the government, the public, everyone is against this one person. Everyone is questioning this one person, that what did you do? And Ibrahim alayhi did not show any fear. He did not run away. He came. And when they wanted to speak, he came in the front and he spoke to them. And now he took this opportunity to give them the da'wah and to teach them the oneness of Allah. Teach them that these idols don't do nothing. Anyways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, قالوا أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم? They asked Ibrahim alayhi salam, did you do this to our gods, O Ibrahim? What did Ibrahim alayhi salam say? قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم إن كانوا ينطقون. Ibrahim alayhi salam responded, this big idol of yours, he's the one that did it. Go and ask him if he can even talk to you. And this is the opportunity that he was waiting for a long time, that he wanted the whole town to get together, become the news of the town. And now everyone is gathered to know what's happening. Now Ibrahim a.s. is using this opportunity. And this is what we can learn from the stories of the Anbiya, that how they used to look for opportunities. When people are gathered, give them some da'wah, give them some advice. This is the opportunity he's using. So he said, بَلْ فَعَلَهُ كَبِيرٌ هَذَا. This big idol of yours, he's the one that did it. Ask him. فَاسْأَلُوهُم. You go and ask him. إِن كَانُوا يَنْتِقُونَ. If the idols can speak. فَرَجَعُوا إِلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ فَقَالُوا إِنَّكُمْ أَنْتُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. So they turned back to themselves. Because of course they know that they can't go to the big idol and talk. They know that big idol didn't do anything. It doesn't have any strength. It cannot do anything. So they knew there was no point going to the idol. So what did they do? فَرَجَعُوا إِلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ فَقَالُوا إِنَّكُمْ أَنْتُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. They went back to themselves, meaning that they looked into themselves. And they said to themselves that, we are the wrongdoers. They realized, now they got the message. Ibrahim a.s.'s point, he made his point. That he made them think, he made them realize that, you yourselves are the wrongdoers. ثُمَّ نُكِسُوا عَلَىٰ رُؤُوسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that then they put their heads down. Out of shame, out of, don't know what to do. They put their heads down. And they said to Ibrahim a.s. in a slow tone, in a very light tone, they said, لَقَدْ عَلِمْتَ مَا هَؤُلَاءِ يَنْطِقُونَ. Don't you know that these cannot speak? They don't have nothing else to say. They don't have nothing else to do. They don't know what to do. Finally, Ibrahim a.s. is giving them da'wah. قَالَ أَفَتَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَنْفَعُكُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَضُرُّكُمْ. He said, do you then worship besides Allah something that can neither benefit you, neither it can do any harm to you? أُفِّل لَكُمْ وَلِمَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Shame on all of you. You worship, whatever you worship besides Allah, do you not have any understanding? أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you not understand anything? And of course this conversation ended here. The people did not know what to say, what to do with Ibrahim a.s. Ibrahim a.s. has a valid point. That if this big idol is there, he saw everything. Why didn't he take care of the situation? He does not even have strength to protect the other idols. He was there, he has the axe in him, with him. This is enough proof that these idols cannot do nothing. So, of course, they did not have anything to say. So what did they do now? They took this complaint to the king. And of course, the king was also an idol worshipper. And they knew that if they go to the king will give some sort of punishment to Ibrahim a.s. and he will take care of Ibrahim a.s. So now they went to, all of these people, they went to the king. What did they complain? Inshallah, we'll continue from there next week, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.